Trump considers potential strike against Iran and calls for unconditional surrender.
G7 summit ends without joint statement on Ukraine.
Negi and press accompanies major political events of the province.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go, the first step live the show. U.S. President Donald Trump has called for Iran's unconditional surrender amidst reports that he is seriously considering direct involvement in Israel-Iran conflict.
On Truth Social, Trump called on Tuesday for Iran's unconditional surrender and stated that the U.S. is refraining from striking Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, for now, but he also warned that U.S. patience is running thin. The warning comes as U.S. media report Trump is weighing a possible military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, particularly the Fordow uranium enrichment plant. Shortly after Trump's statement, Iran's supreme leader issued a threat on social media, declaring, "The war has begun." These developments come amid no sign of de-escalation in the Iran-Israel conflict. In the early hours of June 18, Iran launched around 10 ballistic missiles at Israel, claiming to have used the hypersonic missile Fattah-1. In response, Israel reported carrying out large-scale strikes targeting military targets in western Iran.
The G7 summit held in Canada failed to issue a joint statement on Russia-Ukraine conflict, despite other nations reaffirming their commitment to aiding Ukraine and taking a tougher stance on Russia.
A Canadian official revealed that the host country cancelled plans for a strong G7 declaration on Ukraine because President Trump opposed Canada's draft proposal. Trump also left the summit a day early to return to Washington and handle the Israel-Iran crisis. Ukrainian President Zelensky also cut short his visit after failing to meet with Trump. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney then replaced the joint statement with a G7 chair summary, calling for increasing pressure on Russia through more sanctions. He also announced that Ottawa would provide $2 billion Canadian dollars, or 1.47 billion United States dollars, in new military aid to Kyiv, as well as impose new financial sanctions on Russia.
Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính issued a dispatch directing all ministries and provincial level authorities to provide 100% of public services online via the National Public Service Portal by June 20th and to complete 100% of administrative procedures regardless of administrative boundaries.
The dispatch emphasizes the seamless and efficient implementation of administrative procedures during the ongoing restructuring and deployment of the two-tier local government model. The Prime Minister ordered the publication and updating of procedures on the national database. The Provincial People's Committee chairs must ensure uninterrupted reception and resolution of administrative procedures starting from July 1st. The provincial and communal public service centers must be fully staffed and equipped. The Prime Minister also required the improvement of IT infrastructure to ensure that business-related administrative procedures are conducted efficiently and paperless, with full implementation by 2025.
Upcoming are some updated news.
The Standing Committee of Negi and Provincial Party Committee has issued a plan to pilot a two-tier local government structure across the province. The pilot will begin on June 20th in Dong Loc Commune, a newly merged unit from Con Hoc, Ghi Thach and Tin Trong communes in Ghi Loc district. From this point, the program will be connected online to the remaining 129 communes and wards throughout the province. The aim is to improve leadership, administration and the advisory capacity of local government offices and mass organizations.
Vietnam's total import-export turnover in the first 5 months of 2025 reached $355.79 billion United States dollars, up 15.7% year-on-year. Exports hit $180.23 billion United States dollars, up 14%, with the FDI sector contributing 72.5%. Imports totaled $175.56 billion United States dollars, up 17.5. The trade surplus stood at $4.67 billion United States dollars, down from $8.71 billion United States dollars in the same period last year. These results show that the targets of export and trade surplus set in Resolution 25, NQCP are largely being met.
In Nghệ An province development journey, journalism plays a crucial role, not only as a source of information, but also as a trusted companion to major political events. From the national celebrations to critical policy decisions, Nghệ An's media outlets always present promptly reflect the spirit of these events. More in the story.
One of the major events that attracted a large audience and left a deep impression was the live television program celebrating the 135th birth anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh. This is one of many significant events vividly conveyed by the Nagaean press, touching the hearts of viewers.
I'm very impressed with the thematic programs of Ngaean television stations, such as Ngaean accelerates in the era of transformation, bringing resolutions into life, making achievements to celebrate party congresses, or streamlining the apparatus.
The two key press agencies of the province, Nagaean radio and television station and Nagaean newspaper, play a pivotal role in analyzing and interpreting political events and major policies through in-depth programs and talk shows.
Implementing the propaganda plan for party congresses at all levels. Since October 2024, the news department established a team to report on building the party. We build detailed plans for each month and each quarter for better propaganda.
Since the beginning of the year, we have opened new columns on party congresses at all levels and reorganization of the apparatus. We also launched a special page on party congresses at all levels for the 2025-2030 term, so that party members and people can learn about documents, policies, and instructions on the Congress.
The media's companionship is also evident in its coverage of guidelines and policies, people's council sessions and large public campaigns, helping citizens stay informed and actively engaged.
Agencies and newspapers in the area have actively propagated policies and guidelines to cadres, party members, and people. In particular, the provincial television station and newspaper have innovated the content and methods of propaganda so that the information when reaching readers is easier to understand.
With a spirit of continuous innovation, Nagaean Press continues to promote the 100-year tradition of Vietnamese revolutionary journalism, affirms its position to meet the growing information needs of the public, actively contributes to the sustainable development of the province and the country.
Now is the end of the show today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.